Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about the Michael Porter Jr. situation with his ex-girlfriend. Recently, he just got waived by the Houston Rockets, and now he's currently a free agent, and he's not on the NBA team. Hey, Nico, what's your thoughts about this, Nico?
Oh my bad. I don't know. It's real sad to see this happening to the girl. I forgot her name. But it's just a bad look all around. To be This position is bad for both parties. Kevin Porter and his girlfriend. Um, and I hope they can figure out something and figure out what's going on with the situation. And I hope justice is served.
Right,
Everything happens the right way.
right, yeah. He also was recently out on bail from after he got arrested and things like that. His
Right.
ex girlfriend had a neck injury, which is sad to hear and things like that. You never want to hear about somebody getting hurt in a situation, but it's definitely crazy and it's definitely unfortunate that the situation happened because now he's basically he might not be on the NBA roster this year due to the fact of what happened, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And more about his girlfriend. She was the number 4 pick of the 2021 draft, and she also played for Indiana Fever for 19 games, I believe. But she unfortunately got waived in January 2022, and she hasn't played a WNBA game since. And that's just a little bit about her. That's all I know about her. But um, I know her last
Uh,
name is Gon. I don't know
right.
how to say her last name, but Gondrezick, I believe.
Yes.
Gondrezick. I don't know much about that. But that's just about her though. I want to put her name out there and get a little information out about her.
Right, Jada. What you think about the situation? You think that Michael Porter Jr. should have faced more consequences that he already had, or you think he would he did like well? I know what he did wasn't right, but what you think about him with how they just got him out on bail? You think he should have they should have gave him more consequences for this situation?
I certainly do think he should have gotten a little bit of a harsher punishment. Because it is domestic abuse towards a woman, especially of a male of his stature, his prominence. The fact that he kind of, I wouldn't say that he got away scot free because it was at the cost of his job, the cost of his reputation. It's the fact that he hasn't suffered any major legal consequences as of yet, even though allegedly there is proof of the abuse. I think is just a little silly. I think he definitely should have gotten some jail time by now at this point.
Right, I understand. Also, me doing my research on him, this wasn't like the first situation of him well, you basically could call this like a little anger situation some people might say, but it's also like during his last season that he had got suspended from his team from lashing out and getting in physical contact with his coach on the Houston Rockets. So it is a history of him doing these type of things, but I feel like we all don't know what for sure happened. Like we just going off of what it said. Like I mean, she did get hurt, and that, like I said, that was crazy about the situation. But I definitely understand what you're saying, though. What's your Hunter? You got any input about this, Hunter?
It's just stupid. It's another one of these cases where they're jeopardizing their careers. Porter,
Definitely.
he had a really bright future with the Rockets, and the Rockets just got a lot better over the offseason and could potentially go to the play-in. So he's throwing away his opportunity at potentially seeing the playoffs for the first time. And
Mm,
he was a part of a young core. And you had John Morant last season, and he's suspended for 25 games because of his dumb decisions. Um, and the season before, you had Miles Bridges, who was becoming one of the best guards in the league, super athletic, super fun to watch. And then he went and did the same thing. And now his career is pretty much down the gutter. So it's
right,
just dumb. They work so hard to get to this point and then they just throw it all away.
right. Well, I feel like like you just brought up different players and things like that. I feel like you definitely right with what you're saying. I feel like son that can because at the end of the day, they all young men. Well, most of them are young men that's happening to this, but legally they're technically they're grown. But I feel like, especially in the NBA or even in sports, like I feel like they need more veterans around to like guide these players and like help them understand of like what's the right from wrong. Because at the end of the day, like I feel like these young players are getting millions of money, like millions of money, and I feel like at some point they just think they can like type they could just rule the world at a point. I mean, especially probably it's happening because where the backgrounds that they're from, the how they was raised, like their households and things like that. But like you said, they're all of them are dominant, like good basketball players, good athletes and things like that. But it's no room for this type of stuff to happen because it's crazy. I feel like.
So to your
And
point about the mentors, sorry, to your point about the
good.
mentors, John Morant just got Derrick Rose, and that could be very helpful for him, not only for like his. I mean, obviously, it's gonna make him be a great player because they're molded very similarly, but Derrick Rose is a really good human being as far as NBA players go, and having him to lean on and to get advice from, um, and I feel like Derrick Rose won't hold back if John Morant's messing up, if he's being stupid. Um,
Right.
and it sucks to see because Kevin Porter, he just had a lot of the people that the Rockets added, a lot of players were veterans, and they just signed Reggie Bullock. And so now they
Right.
have veteran presence in the locker room. And had he maybe waited or had he not done this, he might have had some more positive guidance from his elders pretty much.
Right. Definitely. Hey, Monsieur, you have anything that you think that can like help these type of problems like in the world today? Like, what's your thoughts about this?
Hey, Nico. Kevin Porter is a young guy, an excellent shooting guard for the Rockets, and it's unfortunate that he got arrested. Whether he did think, I don't know if he caused any injuries to his girlfriend or not, but if he did, as a young player, even if he feel like he had any reasons to, he really had no right to. So at some
Right.
point, no matter our fame or prestige, if we think we have arrived, we need to think things over before we act because after is always too late.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Like I feel like we don't know what really happened, but like as a situation occurred, like
Mm-hmm.
that's what like is saying. Like he got locked up, like he's messing up his future of what like no, like you can't work. I feel like you can't work that hard and just give it all away just because you want to make one bad mistake. Like it's so easy to like get in trouble in this world, and it's like I feel like what like we just talking about me and Hunter talking about having a mentor can like really help the situation. But at the end of the day, like you could get all the help you need, but you got to be the one to make that change. I feel like, and
Definitely.
with his girlfriend, like I send my condolences to her. Like I hope she's okay and things like that. I read up on something like she was going through a uh mental breakdown and things like that. Just I think a year or 2 years ago that our father passed away and things like that, and that's one of the reasons why she wasn't even in the league. Also, I read up on her and things like that.
Yeah,
But
her father was also a shooting guard for the LA Clippers. I heard,
right,
and the Phoenix Suns.
he passed away, and I seen that son like she was going to like a mental breakdown, and she stepped away from the game from the WNBA to like go through this, and like for her to have this like it's like type crazy because like you never know what a human being is really thinking in their head. Like it's just like a lot of in this world, it's so much things that can happen
Mm-hmm.
with how people think about like for example like suicidal thoughts and things like that. Just feeling
Mm-hmm.
lonely in this world, I feel like, and I feel like it just could lead up to so many things, but something got to change because it's like you always see a headline of a young player doing something wrong that's going to jeopardize their career and things like that. Like recently, this is off topic, but recently, as a Kansas basketball player, Ontario Morris, he was a guard at Texas University,
Mm-hmm.
and he got caught with a charge from the same situation of him just pinning his hands and threatening his ex-girlfriend that he was together with in high school. And then 2 weeks ago, he just got caught with basically a rape case at Kansas, and this is a new school, and you see the backlash that they get on athletes saying like, oh, athletes getting away with these type of things easily just because they're nice at the sport they do. So I feel like all this plays a part with like just having a mentor and just like trying to just do the right thing. Like this stuff like this shouldn't happen, I feel like. Ms. Calyse, you have anything to say about this?
I find this situation very harrowing in the sense that I'm reading through the articles as you were all speaking. It seems I was looking through the injuries that were on the girlfriend per se. One of the injuries that stuck out to me the most and that I keep seeing repeated in all of these was that Kevin Porter allegedly, of course, fractured his girlfriend's neck. And that is what stuck with me. Because one wrong thing to your neck and you're dead.
Right. Absolutely.
And I know Kevin Porter is mostly known for his job. And that is what I keep seeing come up in this discussion is that if he just had a little bit more guidance or have someone who was there to talk to him or something, this wouldn't have happened. But I don't know. It seems like this has, and as I'm hearing, he already had a violent interaction with one of his coaches, if I'm right, from what I heard.
Right, absolutely.
So it seems like this behavior has already been showing signs. And and it seems like his girlfriend sadly was on the other end of it.
Right.
And honestly, oh my bad, I'm sorry. You can keep talking, my bad. Okay. I honestly think the NBA should just look into the people who they're drafting, look into their background more, looking from their childhood or high school, college, and look through the background, check to see if they have been in any trouble. Because, I mean, the guy, he had a shaky couple of years in his first couple of seasons in the league. He was arrested in November 2020. November 2020 on a weapons charge in Mahone County, and he didn't get indicted on those charges. But nevertheless, though, he also had a hiccup in Cleveland on the Cavaliers, and he didn't play for the team after that incident. I remember that vividly.
Right. Absolutely.
So I feel like when you see this pattern going on before, I feel like you should, I don't know, send them off overseas. Send them off overseas.
It seems like because of these patterns, it seems like it was inevitable almost.
Right.
No one could stop him, even though they were seeing all this violence from him.
Mm-hmm.
No one decided to be like, hey now, wait a minute. You know?
Right. I agree with you guys, like, and it just hurts to see like people you worked that hard your whole life to get to that point, and you just mess it up by just doing just nobody's perfect at the end of the day, but it's something you can control, and it's some things like you should know from like right from wrong, I feel like. And I feel like at some point, like now, like with this being his last strike, like the NBA is gonna make an example out of him and probably not like have him back in the league. They don't want to have that as like in a league. They don't want to show like they could have that type of do them type of things like in their league, and like they'll be okay with it. Like it's history of people getting banned from the NBA just from like the NBA not even like tolerating this type of actions and things like that.
And most of them, sorry for cutting you off, some of them is not even, they don't even do the things that he done.
Right.
I remember his name. His name is Michael Beasley. He's generational talent. He just had things off the court like back then during the time he was drafted. He was getting caught in the club drinking, smoking, but I mean, a lot of people do that, and I have anything against it, but the NBA looks at it as you're representing them. Right. So when they see that, and then you not handling yourself accordingly off the court, they're not gonna mess with you no more. And sadly, they haven't put him back in the NBA for years. And he's a really good player.
Right. Yeah. Thank you guys for just giving your endpoint today on the podcast. I appreciate that. I feel like we talked about a lot of good things, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.